Guys, I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to keep it sweet. Here's the deal. You want to know why most people can never get anywhere in life? Why most people never live, never experience, never build, never do anything worthwhile in life? Because most people's egos are so inflated and so fragile that they won't allow people to see them be bad at something.
Don't waste your time trying to live someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma. Focus in on your own strengths, your own element, what you have to offer. Don't get lost in trying to become like someone else or pretend to be someone else. There's a beautiful, one of my favorite quotes by Einstein and then Steve Jobs again. Einstein said, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing that it's stupid.
Listen, man, like I told all my kids have a college education. I told them all, I don't care what you get a degree in. Until you follow your dream and connect it to your gift, you'll never be happy. You'll never be happy, man. I just gotta tell you, you got to chase that dream before you die, man.
Okay? Let that sink in. You've never done something before. You expect yourself to be awesome at it. You haven't done the work. You haven't put in the time. You haven't put in the study hours. You haven't had the experience, but you expect to be good. And because you expect to be good, but you know you're not gonna be good, you don't do anything. Explain that to me.
And too many of us are fish trying to climb a tree. Too many of us are monkeys being taught how to swim. Too many of us are lions being taught to live like cats. We're not getting to live in our element. So my second piece of advice is live in that element that you've naturally been given. Don't try adopt another. We've all got a special genius inside of us. That is the most deep understanding of one's role in life and not getting lost in other people's identities and perceptions of you. Steve Jobs knew that he wasn't a marketer, he wasn't an engineer, he wasn't a coder. So he hired all of those. But he played the orchestra, he brought it all together.
You should go and live your dream. Just go see. God puts your real life in your imagination. That's where your real life ain't in your present circumstance. Your real life is not in your current situation. Your real life is not in your paycheck. Your real life, he tucks it away in your imagination. Albert Einstein said, imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions. Everything you imagine is a preview to a coming attraction. Once you understand that and quit looking at your imagination as hocus pocus, it opens up a wide range of things and possibilities.
Okay? You want to be somebody who succeeds. You want to be somebody who builds something. You want to be somebody who people write books about one day. You are going to have to be okay with being bad at shit for a long time. You have to be okay with looking like an idiot for a long time. And a lot of you guys, you'd rather be too cool for school. You'd rather be the cool kids at the high school lunch table than be the person who actually goes out, takes a leap of faith, decides they're going to try something new, and actually becomes an expert at it over time. Guys, you have to be okay not being good at shit, all right? Every valuable lesson that you're going to come across in your life is going to come from you failing.
And that's when you find confidence in your own role, you won't be envious of anyone else. How many of you have a crazy dream or a crazy goal? I want you to write out in the comment section, what is your crazy dream? The dream that keeps you up at night is the real dream you should be chasing. But to chase that dream, to find that dream, to make that dream a reality, you need a strategy, right? A dream without a plan is just a wish. Tony Robbins said that, right? A dream without a plan is just a wish.
And God puts your real life in your imagination. Listen to me. This is serious what I'm telling you. Don't you think it's nothing else. Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. That simply means everything that's in your imagination is a preview of a coming attraction that God has for you. That's why he puts it in your imagination. That's why when you tell your imagination to the wrong people, it don't go nowhere. You ever had something you thought was a brilliant idea and you took it in there to your family and your loved ones and they shot it down? You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. Because God didn't put it in their imagination. He put it in your imagination. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. I'm gonna die like that. It'll just die. I walked in that house, man, and told everybody I was quitting my job to go be a comedian. Everybody in that house shot that down.
All right? And I hate failing as much as the next guy. Dude, I probably hold the record for the most broken Nintendo controllers on the face of the earth because I hate losing. I hate to lose. But the thing is that once you understand that every time you lose, it's an opportunity for you to not only learn that lesson, but take it a +1 step. Okay, listen to what I just said. A +1 step past the lesson, you'll start to appreciate those lessons. You'll start to be okay with not being good at shit. Guys, you don't want to be the guy that we talk about on the podcast who's 37 years old, living in mom's basement, yelling at her for a Hot Pocket, okay? You trolling people on the internet. You don't want to be that guy. And if you don't want to be that guy, you're going to have to understand that losing is a part of ultimately winning. You're going to lose a lot more than you win. And when you win, you're going to figure out how to get better on top of it. If you're a true winner, they don't celebrate their wins. True winners take the win and they say, how could I have even gotten better? How could I have ran the score up? How could I have won by twice as many points? So you never really feel like you win. And you have to be okay with that. Okay? There's not one thing that I don't look at in my life and say, man, how could I get better at that? How could I win at that? How could I run the score up on that? That's how much I love to win. But I look at every single loss. I've learned to look at every single loss as an opportunity of how to win more. And that's what you need to do too. You don't look at it like, hey, everybody's going to point and laugh. And they might point and laugh. I could tell you a list a mile long of people who have told me, Andy, you still got that little vitamin shop? Andy, what are you trying to be? Tony Robbins? Andy, when are you going to get a real job? Those are the same motherfuckers asking me for jobs now.
Right? Without a strategy, without a guiding philosophy, without guiding principles, without actually creating a clear plan. I used to have this economics teacher, and I want you to think back to school as well. Maybe you had one. I remember this economics teacher. He walked in to the classroom, and the first thing that he wrote on the board, he didn't even tell us his name. We didn't even know who he was. And he went inside the classroom, and he wrote on the board, he said, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And all of us just burst out laughing. This guy hadn't even told us his name yet. But on the board, he wrote, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And now when I look back at that, and as I grew up and hopefully became a bit more mature than I was in high school, I remember thinking about that statement. I'm thinking, how true is that? That when you're not prepared for something, you miss out on unbelievable opportunities. Now, I'm not saying good things don't happen spontaneously. Sometimes things happen by chance, randomly, etc., with a reason. But when you're prepared, you can capitalize on things in a huge, huge way.
Mark Zuckerberg said it brilliantly at Harvard. He was saying that finding your purpose isn't enough. You have to help other people find theirs. And I know you're passionate about this. Whatever that definition is, but it has to lead everyone. So whether I meet a celebrity, an entrepreneur, or whether I meet someone who's starting out, I'm always asking them the question, how can you use what you have to make a difference in the life of other people?
Yeah.
Because if you start there, everything else will work out. But if you're starting from the point of what am I gonna get, then you're always gonna feel disconnected. And I see that. I see people who live like that and feel pain in their lives every day. I see that. It's not like some conceptual philosophy. We see it. I see people who are only in it for themselves and they feel disconnected, dissatisfied every single day. And then you see the other extreme where people are just trying to give too much, more than they even have themselves, and they also feel disconnected.
Wow.
And again,
and they have nothing at all.
And they have nothing at all, right? So we know, again, attachment and aversion, two sides of the same coin. Mm-hmm. So we want to be in that dynamic balance of growth, but always to give.
Yeah.
So I always think, how can I go 3 steps deeper so that I can move 3 steps forward so I can give 3 times as much?
The boredom of normalcy and the numbness of mediocrity stiffens your passion. What that meant was, I was so sick of myself. I was so bored in my life, man. I was so tired of being mediocre. I was just tired of it, and it was all my fault. I was mediocre because I wasn't doing the things to be exceptional. And I was bored. I was losing my mind, man, on the assembly line at Ford Motor Company, going door to door selling life insurance at a debit company. I was tripping, man. I said, man, what is this? My life can't be this. You know, you ever say to yourself, man, it's got to be more to my life than this? If you've ever said that, that's cause it is. And you got to get after that, man. You got to go and get at that. If you don't do it, life becomes real normal and real mediocre to you. Now, there's nothing wrong with being normal, but if normal is getting on your nerves, then you got to change something. If you tired of being mediocre, you got to change something. You know, now, everybody has to determine what their own normal is. Normal for me is gonna be different from you. Normal for you is different from me. But once you determine what normal is for you and you ain't okay with that no more, you got to go do something, man. Cause that shit get on your nerves, man. Being mediocre was driving me crazy. And it started when I was homeless, man, it just pushed me. Cause I was sick of being poor. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Poverty, I was sick of it. I was up to here. I had had enough. I don't know how you feel about poverty, but that got on my nerves. And homeless is a whole nother level of poverty. Not having a bathroom, a bedroom, a back door, a TV, a phone. You know, I was homeless in the 80s, man. There wasn't even no cell phones then. Wrap your mind around that. So I ain't got no phone, I ain't got no backyard. Man, I said, hold up. And I ain't trying to be preachy or nothing, but that pushed me towards my faith. My mom was a Sunday school teacher, it pushed me back to what she was trying to teach me. And when I went back to that, then I started turning the corner. Because I had lost my faith, man. I thought God wasn't listening. He was listening. I just wasn't asking for nothing.
All right? You guys have to understand that if you are willing to be bad at shit, you will have the last laugh on these same people that we're talking about. All right? So quit letting people stand in your way. Quit letting you stand in your way, and understand that you are going to be bad as shit. You know, you're going to suck. Nobody who comes out and is a fucking CEO on boss level status. It just doesn't happen. You know, Elon Musk didn't come out of being born and he was Elon Musk. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk didn't become Gary Vaynerchuk when he was fucking born. Those come from learning lessons, putting in the time, and not being afraid to be laughed at. All right, guys? So check your ego at the door if you ever want to be successful. People are going to laugh at you. People are going to point at you. People are going to make fun of you. But if you understand that losing and getting laughed at and all these things, and you understand how to use those things to improve and get better, you're going to have the last laugh. I see every day people with this mentality that the world owes them something. And it's popular now to talk about entitlement and everybody deserves and all these different things that people like to bitch and cry about. But people come at life with the wrong attitude, okay? And they don't like hearing the truth. And the truth of the matter is this: the world owes you nothing. The world doesn't think you're special like your mom does. It doesn't think you're a delicate little flower. It doesn't care about you. Now, with that being said, the world doesn't hate you. It doesn't want you to fail. It just is, okay? And I see so many people going through their life with this overwhelming feeling of either A, the world owes me something, or B, the world hates me. And the reality is it's neither. And what's common amongst this group of people that I find is that both these groups of people that I find is that they're missing the understanding of what it means to be successful. And let me get at exactly what the cause of this is. The cause of this is they're selfish. They're self-centered. They're self-focused. They're only worried about what they see in the mirror, and they go around through their daily life trying to manipulate the world in a way that's going to serve them. But here's the thing, guys, if that's the way you go through life, if you go through life trying to figure out a way for the world to get you something, for you to be successful, at the expense of others, or for you to get ahead at the expense of others, your success or any success that you're able to build or momentum you're able to build is going to be very short-lived, guys. And that's not the right way to do things, okay? That's why you see the same people, who make money real fast, lose money real fast. That's why you see the same people who, have a little bit of success and then go back to the way they were. And then they might find a new quote unquote thing to do. And they make a little bit of money and they go back to the way they were. And the problem with this mentality, guys, is that it's a mentality that is not of service, okay? And if you want to be truly successful in life, you have to be selfless, and you have to understand that being selfless and being of service to other people is the only true way to find long-term success.
Right? That's always my mentality. How do I go deeper to go more forward, to give more?
Yeah.
And if I can get those three in action for that reason, see, it's all about the reasoning. You can do anything you like, but it's why are you doing it?
Yeah,
we know
of course.
Right?
Yeah.
It's incredible that we root for underdogs. It's incredible that we want underdogs to win. Why? Because we're used to wanting our team to win. We're used to wanting the best to win. We're used to wanting to associate ourselves with people who are successful, right? We never go, oh yeah, I know someone who plays for that really bad team. Like, we don't say that, right? We say things like, oh, I know someone who plays for that really good team. I know someone who was MVP. I know someone who's the son or the daughter of the MVP. We try and associate or link ourselves to success. And when we do that, it in turn makes us feel more successful. It's one of the reasons why when your team wins, you say, we won. Right? You say, we won. But when someone asks you, oh, how did your team do? And if they lost that day, you say, they lost. You rarely say, we lost. It's incredible how psychologically we distance ourselves from failure and we closen or liken ourselves to success. But the exception to that rule is the underdog. We all get excited by underdogs. We all get motivated by underdogs. We feel completely enamored by the story of the underdog. Prashant, underdogs are just simple-minded. They don't have expectations and don't have anything to prove to anybody. And Prashant, you've just hit the nail on the head. That's the principle I'm trying to get across. Actually, we should play like champions and train like underdogs. Why? Because the underdog works in a way not worrying about what anybody else thinks or believes. That gives you an edge. It gives you a phenomenal advantage when you're not actually worried about what will people say, when you're not concerned by, am I going to fail? Am I going to look worse? Is what I'm doing not going to succeed? As an underdog, you don't let those things cloud your mind. You can focus in on the task at hand. See, when we become successful, even as underdogs, if we've risen to success, the biggest enemy of that success, the biggest Achilles heel, the biggest thing that can trip us up is not reconnecting to that feeling of an underdog. So no matter how much success you've achieved, no matter where you are, always remind yourself the mindset of an underdog is the mindset that nurtures talent, that nurtures success, that harnesses your true potential.
Almost 30, and I don't feel like I've accomplished anything in life. I made a promise to myself while I was at university that I would get a job that excites me every morning. But right now I'm afraid I'm not going in that direction. That note was written by a young person, and when I read it, my heart sank. I felt that way because I know so many people that are in that exact position.
When the news hit the fan, all them haters gonna go somewhere and be quiet. Because they gonna see this little stock is about to go pew. It's gonna shoot up again. Because that's a promise of God. That's how it works. I'm a blue chip stock. You are a blue chip stock. If you think of yourself as a blue chip stock, how can they downgrade you? You can't downgrade me. I'm a big black Nike swoosh. That's what I am. I have the same gift that God gave me 62 years ago, that I turned professionally 35 years ago. I have the same gift. They can never take my gift. You could take this show and take that show, and you could think what you done is cool. All you did was replant me. I'm a motivational speaker, so you have to excuse me while I start getting on tangents like this. So check this out. Buried and planted appears to be the same thing, but it ain't. See, when something's buried, when you bury something, you say goodbye to it. When something is planted, you expect to see it again. I'm planted. You're planted. All you got to do is live in the life of expectation, and God will give you what you expect. If you expect nothing good to happen, nothing good is going to happen. But the God I serve, his promise is that he delivers if you believe. I just happen to believe. So what does it matter to me what they do? It's not a gimmick. Vision boards are very real. You have to understand that. You have to understand all successful people have them. You can't. You're not going to get everywhere you want in life without writing your visions down, without having them in front of you. It's a scripture. This is not a theory that Oprah Winfrey came up with. This is a biblical scripture. God set it in place where you could have the life of your dreams. He put it in place. There is a way that you can have the life of your dreams. You just have to learn the principles of success. Now, they got all these books out here, but all these books on self-help and success, they're based on the principles from the Bible. Ain't nobody coming up with no new stuff. Proverbs got all that information in it. All of that information is in Proverbs. You ain't got to look no further. But since Proverbs is hard to understand, people have self-help books like The Magic of Thinking Big, Power of Positive Thinking, The Winner's Circle, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. All this stuff come out the Bible.
And guys, I know this sounds a little bit out there, like it sounds a little bit Care Bear, care about others and others will care about you, but it's a fundamental truth of the fucking universe. Okay, if you care about others, other people will reciprocate and care about you. All right, when you make a friend, you're gonna make a fucking sale. And you know what the best part about making a friend is versus making a customer is that you can always lose a customer, but you can never lose a friend. All right, guys, you have to focus on being of service. You have to focus on solving problems. The world doesn't give a either way. The world doesn't care if, who you are, what you do. The world doesn't hate you either. It just doesn't care about you. Do you understand that? It's like you're like a piece of fucking lint. It's indifferent. It doesn't matter. So quit going through life thinking the world owes you something, because nobody fucking owes you anything. And quit going through life, you other people, thinking that the world hates you. The world doesn't fucking hate you. The likelihood is you fucking hate you. Okay? Fix your mindset. Understand that success is an equation of math. It is 1 + 1 = 2. It is A + B = C. There's no magic dust in there. It is what it is. It's cause and effect. It's action result. And once you accept that, and once you eliminate all the hocus pocus that all the other motivational gurus and salespeople and gypsies or whatever the is out there trying to sell you, then you're going to be on the right track. It's just too simple to accept that it's cause and effect, right? It's too simple to accept that it's A + B = C, or 1 + 1 = 2. But what if it is that simple? All right? Understand that. And understand that you need to be of service. And if you can understand those 2 points and accept them as truth and work them as truth, there is no limit to how far you can go.
The impact I want to have on the world is I want to transform and revolutionize the entertainment industry so that it becomes educational without anyone knowing. So it's still completely entertaining. It's still like watching Netflix, but you're learning about human behavior, the mind, neuroscience, and everything without even knowing you are. To me, that's the greatest win that we can have for our society. How many people are going to quit watching Netflix and reading a book every night? I don't know. But if we can make that book come to life on Netflix, that's going to change the world, because that's what people are going to consume. So for so long, media has been used to numb people, to switch people off. If we can use it to excite, elevate, enlighten people, not by like the cheesy way of like, oh, let's follow someone through their journey of
enlightenment. It's not like that kind of stuff. I mean like really entertaining programming where you can learn by being entertained at the same time. If I can do that by changing the most powerful industry in the world, then I will feel that I've had somewhat of an impact. Because that way I think we'll reach the world without having to get everyone to change their habits too much. My thing is, how do we meet people where they are and really deliver a message and a powerful expression of love? And to me, that's the highest form of compassion. The highest form of empathy, love, and compassion is to meet people where they already are, rather than expecting them to change. My daily practice is to refine my intention. The biggest weeds that we all get is on our intention. So when I say intention, I mean my current intention is to use everything I've been given, everything that I have in the service of others. So I want to use the following that I have to help people. I want to use the money that I have to help people. I want to use the network that I have to help people. But every day that intention, which is a beautiful little plant that's growing, gets weeds around it. No, do it for the money. I hear that voice, right?
Do it for the fame.
Just do it for the fame, do it for the followers, do it for this. All these weeds are like going around my real intention every day. Every day. That's a weed. A weed is the intention that you don't want. And the problem is, sometimes you've let it grow so much, the weed looks like the plant, right? The weed looks like your intention. And you start believing it's the same thing. So for me, my daily practice is going back in, reflecting on what is my voice right now in my head. What am I saying to myself? And I'm hearing, make that deal, it makes a lot of money, do this, do that, do this, more followers, fame, all that stuff. And I'm cutting it down. I'm cutting that weed every day. And you've got to do it every day, because the more you're surrounded by that energy, the more it's going to keep creeping in like a creeper weed.
There is a scripture, Habakkuk 2:2. It says, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry means take a long time, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time. That's in the Bible. That ain't in the rich people's copy. That's in everybody's Bible. The problem is everybody don't do it. But it's right there. But you got to do it. I'm just telling you, if you don't do it, it's too hard. It's almost impossible. That vision board has changed my life. Everything I put on my vision board, I get. Everything. Now you have to understand something. It's not going to come when you want it to come. It comes at an appointed time. That's the trick. But the appointed time is what throws people off. Because when you ask God for something, he sends it. He ships it immediately. As soon as you ask him something, you really believe he'll do it? He boxes it up and he ships it to you immediately. The problem with the package is he never gives you the date that the package is going to arrive. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Because if he told you the date that the package would arrive, it would destroy the requirement he has of all of us, which is faith. Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. So if you ask God for $1 million and he tell you I'm gonna give it to you in March of 2020, you wouldn't need no faith. You'd be talking to people crazy because you know in 2020, I'm finna be a millionaire. But he sent $1 million as soon as you ask for it. But it's going to come at an appointed time. The problem is people stop waiting on the package. Then when it get to you, because he delivers only to Faith Street. When he delivers to you on Faith Street, but you done stepped off of Faith Street, you over here on I don't see how circle. He don't ship that. Instead of staying on Faith Street, you done stepped over here to I don't believe it Boulevard. Or it took too long Avenue. Then the package come to Faith Street. It's just like the post office and FedEx. If you ain't there to receive it, it gotta go back.